So in the last video we have seen the introduction of pointer, and we saw what are the use cases of pointer and how we should properly utilize it. In this video we are looking at the code implementation. We will see like how we can use pointer in our day-to-day programming codes and basically avoid the kind of mistakes which could lead to memory overflow or other different errors. Okay, so let's start with the introduction only here. Let me define a variable, say var, and let us assign it some value, some default value. Okay, so with this let us also define one pointer here. So the declaration of pointer is something like this, as I told you in the starting video only. This asterisk is used for declaring a pointer. So whenever you see something like this getting declared, it is basically a pointer. Okay, what does it mean? Integer is basically the data type of variable to which PTR is going to point. Okay, so integer here is going to be the data type of the variable which PTR is going to point, and this star PTR basically means that it's a pointer variable and PTR is the name of this pointer variable. Okay, so this statement should be clarified by now. Let us now try to initialize this pointer. So the way we can initialize the pointer is assigning it some address. Okay, so what I will do, I will use the AND operator, and the AND operator will return the address to this variable var. Okay, so what we did, we actually created a variable here which is present somewhere in the memory, and now this AND operator will return the address of this variable from the memory, right? So this pointer will now hold the address of this variable var. Now let us try to print this pointer. So if I do ptr and try to run this code, I will get a hexadecimal value, right? So if you guys remember in the last video, I told you memory addresses are not, basically these are hexadecimal numbers. Okay, we actually identify a memory address via a hexadecimal number or not through integers. So if this is printing PTR, this is actually giving me the address of this variable var, and since PTR is holding the address of this variable var, it will print the address, right? Now let us try to print star PTR. Now what this will do, as I told you in the last video, this dereference operator or star means that return me the value. This basically means return me the value stored at memory location PTR. Okay, now what is the what is stored at PTR? PTR, we actually have this memory location, and what is this memory location? This is the memory location of this variable var, right? So this star PTR or dereference of PTR will return me 1025 only. Let's try to run this quickly. Great. So if you can see, this is actually printing the value itself, right? So, and we can also modify the value through star PTR now. So if I do star PTR is equal to 1036 and then print the value of this variable, this will modify the value, right? Why? Because star PTR now, which is actually equivalent to var only, will update the value which is stored in this variable var. Okay, so this will update the value, and thus we will get 1036 here. Okay, so now let us look at the second thing, which is pointer to pointer. I've also created some notes here. If you want, you can go through them later on. This is just some normal concepts which we have already covered in the last video, but I thought maybe write it down so that you can have something to revise about. Okay, now let us look at the second part, which is pointer to pointer. Now in pointer to pointer, as I told you, we can declare a pointer to a pointer. So how do we declare? We actually declare it like this. So this basically means integer is again the pointer to which it is pointing to, the variable towards the PTR2 will point to, and star basically means that it is a two-way pointer, right? So it is a pointer to a pointer, right? In this case, if we are declaring a value star PTR, this also has some address, right? This will be stored on some memory location. So star PTR, if I do star PTR2, this will actually hold or store that memory location at which PTR is present. So if I do something like this, ptr2 is equal to end of ptr. What this will do, this will actually store the value of this, store the address of this ptr pointer inside ptr2 variable, right? We can easily see this. Let's try to print ptr2. Also let us also print this value of ptr star of ptr2, and before this also let us print the value of ptr. Okay, so what will happen, this first statement will print the address which is getting stored in ptr. Now what is the address which is stored in ptr? The address of variable var. ptr2 will store the address of this ptr variable, right? Ptr pointer. And star of ptr2, can anyone guess what will star of ptr2 will do? Let's try to see this. So if you see closely, the first and the last are going to be equal. Why? Because star of ptr2 will give me the value which is stored in ptr variable, right? Since ptr2 is pointing towards ptr, so it will give me the value which is stored in ptr variable, and this is equivalent to this statement only. So that's why the first and the last memory addresses are same, whereas this will be the memory address of ptr2. Okay, so that's about pointer to pointer. We can also declare a pointer to a pointer to a pointer. Again, same concept will apply. You can apply, like, do this recursively as many times as you want. So let us try to see the third part which we discussed, which was around pointers in array. So pointers in array, as I told you, the array name itself is a pointer to the entire array. Okay, so let me just declare quickly a array first. So we will declare an array here, which will, let's assign it some value, 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, 4 is enough. So we will have 4 values here. Now I will declare a pointer ptra, which is actually equal to aar, right? This is equal to the name of the array. So ptra now will store the address of this entire array, which in turn is equivalent to the name of the array only, right? So as I told you in the beginning, if we are doing a of I, this basically means nothing. This is equivalent to star of a plus I, right? So this is equivalent to this statement only. So if I try to validate this statement, let us try to do something. Probably let's try to print this statement now. So we will see ptra plus 1. Now what it will give me, what does this statement will give me? First of all, this will return the value which is stored at ptra, right? Now what is the value? It is 1 only, because this is first variable. Now let's try to print this. Yeah, so if you see, we got 2. Why? Because this is equivalent to the first element in the array, which is 1. Now what if you want to print the second element of the array? You can simply do something like this, star of ptra plus 1. Let's try to print this now. So if you see, this will give me the second element, right? Now let's just try to print the third element. So I can do plus 2 and we'll print the third element. Yeah, so it will print the third element, right? So through the name of the array, or a pointer which is equivalent to the name of the array, we can actually traverse through the array smoothly, right? We can also modify the value here. So if I do something like this, let's do it before this statement only. If I do something like this, ptra plus 2 is equal to 12. If I modify the value, let us see what will come out here. So if you see, the value of the array has been changed, right? Similarly, I can change the other values as well. So if I do ptra, let's suppose the first element only, let us modify it to 23, right? And let's try to print all the values inside the array now. So if I do int I inside this array, cout I only, and give a space, right? If I do this, let us try to see what will come out. So if you see, the first and the second, like the first and the third value have been changed. Why? Because we have done ptr plus 2 is equal to 12 and ptr is equal to 23. We can also change the second value, simply ptr plus 1 is equal to, let's suppose, 20, and this will also modify the second value here. So if you see, it is coming as 20 now. So this way we can also play around in arrays, and yeah, hopefully like we can modify the value which are present inside array. Now there is one important concept here. Wherever you pass an array, okay, you can pass it two different ways. First is pass by value, or the other one is pass by reference. Okay, so whenever you're doing pass by reference, if you are editing or updating any value inside the array within a function, let's suppose I'm passing to a different function by through pass by reference, then if you edit this value within the child function, then it will also get modified in the parent, right? So it's good to do pass by reference, because then it will not copy all the elements to a memory stack, and then you will save a lot of memory. But on the other hand, if you by mistake modify any value in the child function, then it will also get modified in the parent function. And especially in cases of recursive functions or recursive problems, it will create a lot of it will probably give you a segmentation fault as well. Okay, so that's about array. That's about pointers. I think this will clarify. We will also have a lot of reading material in the session. You can go and check it out. Cool. Thank you.